Morning. We are done pumping manure. We're full of sand again, so we really need to look into a sand lane to separate the sand out of the bedding. Every time we empty our manure pit, there's 100 dump truck loads of sand that got to go out with the manure. So we are using 7 to 8 loads of sand a week. Our pit's full in 3.5 months. So that's about what it comes out to. So anyhow, this pile of sand right here, we are 2 sections away from the farm, so 1,320 feet. This is what we got out of 1,320 feet, and this is pretty much pure sand. I mean, you can see that is sand. That's not manure. It was settled in the bottom of the hose. We pushed it through with the pig. We tried blowing out everything. Right away we saw it wasn't gonna go, so we cut the... I actually cut the end off the hose right here. So it's all shredded now. I'll cut it back to about right here and put the end back on it. But I don't like it when that end is flopping around when you're blowing out. It's bad enough that this hose is flopping around because it's like it's really whips around a lot. I mean, like, scary. And so anyhow, we've got the rest of this section of hose here that needs to get blown out. And we tried it from this way first. Tried blowing it up through here, and that didn't work. It stopped. We couldn't get it. We had 140 psi on this line, and the pig was sitting there. It wouldn't move. Very dangerous situation. So we said, okay, we're gonna go the other way, back 2 sections. We wanted to go 1 section, but it was in a valley, and it seemed like there was pressure on it. So we didn't unhook it there. We went to the next section, and we unhooked it and put the air compressor on it to blow it back, and it didn't work. So now we got pigs locked in both ends, and we need to split these sections and blow them out section by section instead of 2 at a time, and we're going to go from the middle and try to blow them to the outsides. We cut this end off right here already, so this end is off. You can see it right here. It's a clean cut. So this hose is just laying right here. We want to blow it out from that way, coming downhill, see if we can get this sand out. But it's locked in there. So I've got something that I've never done before that I'm gonna do because I don't feel like getting blown up attempting this to unhook these hoses because it seems like there's pressure on it. So I've got a gun. I'm gonna shoot it and see what happens because I don't want to be standing there and stick a knife in it. I don't feel safe about it at all. It just, like I said, it's a very scary spot to be in when you're trying to split them hoses and you don't know, because they're full of sand, but there's also places where air can get trapped in there. And if you cut it open with 100 and some psi on it, even if it ain't 100 and some psi, the least you're gonna get is a really good manure shower. And I don't really feel like getting that this morning either. So I'm gonna take my 300 mag, my deer hunting rifle, and I'm gonna shoot it from a distance away and see what comes out for pressure. So that's my plan here. We'll see what happens. I'm just gonna keep everything back far enough where we don't have an issue doing this. So I got my 300. I'm gonna put 3 shells in it. I think I'll only need 1, but who knows if it's even sighted in. But I don't want to hit that aluminum bell. Or that bell. It's not. I don't know what it's made out of. It's very strong. But we don't want to hit that. We just want to hit the hose and see what we got on there for pressure. And like I said, this seems a little ridiculous, but I don't feel safe walking up there and sticking a knife in that hose to split it or to take that coupler apart. No way. We got a pig, like I said, we got a pig locked in each side, and I think there's pressure on that. And even if there isn't, I would rather be safe than sorry. We had 140 psi on 2 miles line last night. That tells you how much power is in here. Like, we bled it off. There's no pressure on either end, but I'm just worried about air getting locked in the middle somehow because of having a pig in each end. So I'm just nervous about this one, and I think I'm just gonna do it this way. Okay, you ready? I am. Let me see. So we're gonna try blowing it out from the other end first. So I want on the right side there. Okay, so I hit it. There's liquid coming out. I was hoping it would go all the way through, but I figured that sand would stop it, and it wouldn't. And I don't think it did. There's definitely a hole there. So that's what we got. Just a little pinhole here. You can see. I think I'm gonna take a knife and slice it right here. That's just rock hard. I think it's sand, but like I said, I don't want to take a chance on it. Maybe I should drive the truck up, put the front wheel right here, because if I'm cutting there, at least if something happens, I'm not going to get hit by this. I think I'm going to do that. Okay, so I got the truck wheel on it. The truck is probably going to get a bath here, but I'm not really so worried about that. I don't want to get hurt doing this. See, I think there's pressure on it. You got showered here, wipe you off. Inside the truck, it's windy out and it got everything. Stinky cow poop. Got me pretty good, actually. See, and then it quit. I just don't. Whoa. See what I mean? I just don't trust it. I don't know what to do with it. I got my truck here so the end of that hose can't come back on me on that side. But I still don't like this side. I would like to get something else and park it on that side. But I'm going to try to take this bolt out and leave the clamp fastened. Now those clamps, once they're around there, that's where all the strength's coming from. So if I can take a hammer and pound that a little bit and loosen that bolt up and hold it and then get out of the way, and then I'm going to run it over to get the clamp off. I'm not going to take the clamp off by hand. And by the way, I would never recommend anybody doing this. Everybody always thinks that they'll be fine doing it, you know, but it's just a very dangerous. Even though it seems to be full of mostly solids, I still don't like it. See, what I'm going to try to do is make this bolt loose. There, it's loose. Just like the old Western movies, you shoot the clamp to get it off. I'm not going to try my skill on that. I don't think that'd be good. We just got to figure out how to get this clamp off. So, in the truck, got some protection. I mean, yeah, something can still come through a window, but like I said, I'm pretty sure that it's full of solids. But there's still a heck of a lot of pressure on it. Thinking about driving my wheel up on that clamp and try to loosen it. Alright, the clamp's not coming, obviously. What if we hook the vice grips on them, and then hook the chain on the top of the vice grips and pull it that way with the vice grips, with the truck? Hook the chain on that. Or just drive into it with that on there. That's why I didn't want to do that by hand. Vice grips are over there. Darn it. Hopefully they're still on the clamp. Look at that air coming out of there. I thought there was air locked in there. See, that's the danger. You just never know. I had a feeling there was air locked in there. And it's obvious there is. You can see it squirting out of there. Wow. It just had a funny feeling to me. I'm glad I didn't cut that by hand. I mean, obviously the hose didn't move because it's so heavy, but we got the pressure off both ends, but that would have been a really big shower. Probably cut it back further later. Let's go look and see the sand in that thing. So you see, this is all sand. You can see how full that is of sand. The rest of that was air. So that's why I'm being careful about it. Down by the air compressor, we got it hooked up already from last night. Actually, the orange line needs to get hooked up, it looks like. So we're gonna hook this on. We got a portable pig shooter here because we're blowing out the wrong way. The pig shooter on the pump goes that way. That's all blown out. We're trying to go this way. So I'm gonna hook this on here and put the clip in, safety clip. It's open here. Make sure that valve's open. And this, you just want to start your air compressor and get out of the way, because just playing with fire. This is like stupid. $1,600 CFM air compressor run by N14 Cummins engine, so she's got some power. Let's go double check the clamp. I'm gonna double check and make sure Keith didn't do anything with that clamp, because Keith shut it off. Nope, it's good. Better safe than sorry. Just want to check before I turn the air on. Okay. Hit the service air button. And then this big 3-inch valve here. Like I said, the pig's already in there from last night. It's locked in there. So, let's see what this is running. See, right now, you know it's moving and filling full of air because it's only on 90. When it stops moving, all of a sudden this needle's gonna come over here. And it probably ain't gonna take long. She's gonna be there. Then the compressor will slow down and it'll just sit there at that pressure. We could turn it up more, but that is already stupid pressures. The only way we're gonna get that sand out. But just make sure nobody's around anywhere within a couple 100 yards, and them ends flying around. That's why we always cut them off, because we did this years ago and it ripped the end right off the hose. Didn't even have it sliced or anything, just ripped it right off, and that much more. It's incredible, the power here. See, now it's at 100. So it's starting to push a little harder. Fill the line. But it's just people that are getting into drag lining or new at this. It's just when you're pumping sand, you want to make sure it's stirred good enough. And they did a good job stirring, but I think we might have pumped a little bit too long, because at the bottom on the liquid side there was sand over there. Sand and water don't stay in suspension, so they were stirring it with the boat and we were pumping, and it would stay in suspension for enough to get it out in the line, but then I think it was settling as soon as it got in line at the end of when we got down to the bottom of the pit. I'm pretty sure that's what's happening. If we'd quit a little earlier, maybe it wouldn't be such an issue. But I really think we need to look at a sand lane and see. I've looked at some already. That's where you recycle your sand. It gets washed after it comes out of it washes the sand out of the manure with water. And a lot of the sand lanes actually use water that's in the pit already. So it's not moving much. Not at all. Not yet. But we can't really leave it. We kind of got to watch it, because just don't want it coming out at that kind of pressures. So we got to shut the compressor off when it starts moving decent. Then we think it's about ready to come out, we're going to bleed air off the back of the compressor. Oh, it's not over there. Down here still. I am not going to let anybody on this farm do something like unhooking that clamp. That is only going to be me. It is dangerously stupid. Stupidly dangerous. We weren't intending on it. It happens. But dealing with this sand sometimes can get you. At least it gets getting us until we get to learn some more, whatever. But I'm not going to let somebody else do what I did up there. And I wouldn't recommend it to anybody, because you're playing with fire. But it's kind of like, what do you do? 2 sections of hose are worth $20,000. You can't pull them into weeds. You got to get the sand out. Got this hose all blown out, and this is what the end of it looks like afterwards. This is after the air went through and pushed the pig through it. Nothing but a Looks like a shredded old wig or something. But my dad was sitting here watching it, and it came a lot faster than what we were anticipating. So the air, it did, well, he was a safe distance away, but when it came out, it did have like 130 psi on it. So it was a big boom.